Scrap Brain. Oh, fuck this fucking zone in itself, because this is an absolute troll level. It really is. And these fucking caterpillars, man, I've never really liked the way how these... I never knew how they sort of fucking... not work, but, you know, like, you expect to jump on them, but you'll still probably hit them and it will hurt you. When's the best time to jump on those goddamn bugs? I don't know. I haven't worked it out myself. I think it's when they're sort of lying flat all around, but, again, do I want to know? Do I want to care? Probably not. Then you got these disappearing fucking platforms like you would in Mega Man, because they've got that as well. And these fucking egg bombs are still back. And look, just touching them is enough to give Sonic a fucking seizure as such. Ugh, if not for the Chaos Emeralds. And yes, there's going to be plenty of times in which I'm going to take a misstep, and then I'm just going to have to find my way back up a different route. This is actually, I think you would have came up here if I had to take the other way from that spinny thing in the beginning. And there's a button for you to change it to a different direction, but, you know, I've just... this is basically all improvised at this point. That being said, you know, I don't know the whole layout of every zone in Sonic, let alone even, like, the most well-played Sonic game I know, such as, say, Sonic 3 or even Sonic Advance. No, not at all. You know, in order to find certain points, like when you need to get a Chaos Emerald, then I would say, yes, I will need to know exactly where I need to go, just so I know if I want to at least beat the game 100%, then this is how I do it, of course. Yeah. Anyway, so I have to say, for me to actually do... See, I could have made that right there. I would have liked to have actually done this along with Blade, because I know like, he would have a lot of fun just ripping out the entire game, especially when it came to... because I think he would just quote things from the Sonic Shorts community, because, you know, that shit's always... And I even quoted a few Sonic Shorts outside of Sonic too, especially the one... My very favourite one from Sonic Shorts consists of... you know, Sonic and Amy were sort of getting it on in their own room, and then fucking Vector the Crocodile just crashes in and goes, "Haha! To get through tight spaces, press the circle button to slide!" Oh god, I just want, you know, that was probably, just like with, I think it's Gamer Poop, I think it was the very first sort of skit or joke that I generally just laughed at. I mean, with some skits from either Sonic Shorts or Gamer Poop, I would just sort of, you know, smile because of how stupid they are. It's very rare for me to actually laugh at certain things. It's like the same with Family Guy cutaways, and even the older classic Family Guy cutaways it takes a lot for me to sort of just get me laughing, but there is one cutaway gag that always makes me fucking laugh to no end, because it's the best cutaway gag, and that's Peter's breakfast machine, because of how fucking stupid it was. Oh yes, now here's a mechanic where you sort of run across this, I want to say like a gyroscope in a way, but it's not really a gyroscope as such. But here's a fun fact, you can actually spin onto them and you can propel yourself much more further. How I found that out? Well, apparently when you finish the game and it's end credits, it actually shows you what you can actually do with them. And I'm thinking, oh, had I known about that, I would have capitalized on it, but I didn't. So, oh well, something to learn for, I don't know, future aficionados who want to tackle on a classic Sonic game as such. I'm just also suddenly reminded, there was a video I was watching where there was one game developer who was really shitting on the fact that classic Japanese games were absolutely trash and make way for these American ones. I thought, fucking hell, really, bro? Just the epitome of video games mostly came from Japan, and you're just going to trash talk them like so? Fuck me, I just never really wanted to just... I don't know what I would have wanted done. And there's so many moments like this in which, you know, I could have probably died at that point. Especially because of the way how I was playing so recklessly. Thank fuck that these fucking Chaos Rings just decide to, you know, want to phase through whenever they want to, or just, you know, not. So yeah, at this point I would have been at a sort of loop, like a Sisyphus effect, and thinking, yeah, I've got shit to do, I've got to keep going. Scrap Brain has always been, I guess, a very sort of fun stage. Well, the first one wasn't as fun. Here it's, I guess, I don't want to say fun, but it really sort of puts you on edge because of all the shit that's happening. Especially these giant fucking buzzsaws that just start, zooming towards Sonic. I mean, fuck, you gotta watch out for that before you really sliced up and all that. You don't want to be chicken pie or anything like that. I don't know why I say chicken. Sonic's clearly a hedgehog and such, so oops. Yeah. Oh, but, you know, I'm glad, I guess, you know, see, okay, I may have, you know, there's not much I can do right now with Mario 64 or Final Fantasy 7, and I'm so close to uploading every part of fucking Mega Man 2. Like, I've uploaded the bonus of Super Mario World for the special stages. Actually, funny enough, I nearly forgot about that, just like I nearly forgot with Mega Man 2. So I thought, shit, well, I better do something about that. Oh, also, I will say this too. There's probably... See, with this hiatus I've had, I think about a week since I've actually done anything, I've had a bit of a break on myself, especially because I just wanted to distract myself, not having to think about my fucking hard drive. I thought about, you know, I should probably put in a little bit more effort, more so with thumbnail creating, because I realized that, not that I cared as much at the time, because I just did it because, you know, I didn't really have much to go off, but yeah, I think it's no secret that the people, at least that watch these videos, they'll often go with the thumbnail that sort of strikes out a bit more interesting. With Mario 64 or such, what was good about that is that I just used Mario's face from the beginning, cut him out at certain points off a frame, and just use those as my thumbnail ideas. It was just, you know, rather than just putting stupid, shit that no one would actually get or anything like that. Okay, so before we can actually verse Eggman, there is one little obstacle we got to do. Scrap Brain Zone 3, which does not have a boss, but of all places it decided to take, it's like this sort of negative color point of labyrinth zone. I'm thinking, why? Why does it have to be here? Because I thought it may have the looks of the zone, but will it have the aesthetic? Oh yeah, it's got fucking water. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares if it's purple? It's still fucking water. You're gonna have to traverse in it and hope to God that you don't die. Now this fucking stage, oh, this was a real pain in the ass. I don't think it was as big as a pain in the ass as its predecessor, but fuck, I really just did want to go out of my way to just... There's so many things. Okay, so the bubbles... I didn't actually mention, but the bubbles actually appeared a lot more easily in Labyrinth Zone. Here? No! You really have to wait for this fucking bubble to start appearing up. So here I'm just like, where the fuck are you? You know, the bubbles in Labyrinth Zone I think will appear every, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Here I had to wait for like 10. Jesus. And they spread them out, they scarce them out to the point in which they're almost, you're gonna have to like checkpoint yourself to, oh yeah, this is like, that part right there is really hard, because if you don't do it right, then you'll end up fucking, see, that was so close right there, I nearly fucking died. But I mean, I have died a lot on this stage, don't get me wrong, this was a real pain in the ass. But those gaps in between, because of the way how the water mechanic works, lovely, he'll fucking like slide across and you'll actually end up on the other side, and rather than having to go down where you really want to go. But yeah, just all this bullshit that you have to come across, especially when you have to fight. Getting rings as well is not easy to try and hold on to, because everything just tries to jump you. And even this guy right here, he's just kind of minding his own business until you're in his full frontal sight, and then he starts fucking throwing spikes at you. And at this point, look, he becomes a Voltorb. That's all he is, basically. He's just a Voltorb, except he doesn't have any fucking shocking attacks. Yeah, make sure you move, because that fucking platform will send you up to those goddamn spikes. And I will say, there are some spikes in this game that really are well hidden. I did not actually see those spikes in these various places. But thank God that the water is just ending right there, because otherwise, yeah, I would have... You find yourself a little bubble spot, and you still have to wait a very long fucking time for them to actually come up to you. So the crystals look nice and all, but again, it doesn't defeat the fact. Again, it's like a very color loss based zone. Grey walls with a green wall background and purple water. I mean, what the fuck am I looking at? Some sort of psychedelic trip? Well, it's not psychedelic. Again, it's just I don't know. Maybe I was taking some sort of fucking drug out of this, or maybe I ate too many chili dogs. Who knows? But yeah, at least Sonic doesn't stand out as much. It was even at a point where I was so close at the end of this act, and then I die either from the lack of oxygen or because an enemy got me when I had no rings left. So even I think in this part right here, because you get up here, and I got hit by these guys, or I end up going to this bubble patch, and the bubbles just didn't rise up when I wanted it to. So again, I'm never a huge fan of water stages. I've said that with Mario, even though Mario breathes underwater for some reason. And yeah, just never really enjoyed the water stages as much. And Sonic, I guess, is one of the pinnacle points in which it's been, no. Okay, the final zones. This is the true final boss right here. We can actually fight Eggman. And this is the only time which I suppose I have actually died to Eggman. Not that it was frustrating, because yeah, the mechanic is he'll two of these platforms will two of these pistons will start coming up or descending down in any random order. It's not really RNG, and be careful you don't get crushed. I nearly got crushed right there, and I thought, fuck, that was really close. And out of the two, he'll appear in one of them, and if you're in the right spot, then you can get him. Of course, if the jump decides to dick you up, see I got frustrated right there, then if the game would be like, fuck you. But then he was like, oh, you, I know you were meant to get me. I'll go easy on you, Sonic. I'll appear right here like I did before. So I try and stay in the middle, but it's not a good idea, especially when you have the first one from the bottom and the second one from the top going down. Then you've got like a very split second, like so, right there, to actually escape. You don't have time to get Eggman, especially if he's on the left side of it. So in a way, it's kind of a waiting game as such. Not necessarily going out of your way to really get him. You want to be at the right spot, but then again, obviously you don't want to waste too much time because you're at a timer. Yes, you can actually die if you exceed the time limit over by 10 minutes. I think that's always been the case with the classic Sonic games as such. And this is how the final boss works for Eggman. It's not what I had in mind. You know, you expect him to be in this giant ass machine, but again, this is the first Sonic game, so we have to give it a bit of leeway, I guess. So, you know, the sequels supposedly do get better with that, and we will find out if they do, of course. But holy shit, you know, this was such an experience. This whole thing, I think I said 4 or 5 hours. If combined together, I think actually it was longer than that. I think the whole thing took about, because I know I did separate recordings, and this all took about 7 hours, but finally I managed to beat Dr. Eggman. It's technically not over, because he actually goes over here, and then he starts escaping. It's always funny to see him escape, and then hit him, and yeah, send him a big fuck you, goodbye, get fucked. And that's it! Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis of 1991 has been beaten. We haven't freed all the animals, because we didn't defeat all the enemies, but we have all the Chaos Emeralds. And this is before where Super Sonic actually started to appear. Instead, it just... What the fuck have they done with the flowers? Made them all rubbery and flubbery. What? Yeah, the Chaos Emeralds served, I guess, a different purpose as such. This is even before Crash Bandicoot and fucking Croc even had the idea that gems had some sort of power into them. Holy shit. Yeah, so, that is Sonic. In a way, once I actually started to get the hang of the game, this actually was pretty fun, except to the point where you kept on fucking, well, I don't want to say dying as such, but, you know, you thought that you'd actually get your shit sorted out because you've been through the whole procedure. But, of course, it's so many multiple ways of how you actually take to Sonic, you know, all these different areas you can actually finish the game as such, that, it's one of those ones in which you really do need to experiment, and I suppose you kind of do have the time in a way, but at the same time, of course, you don't. But, you know, if you really wanted to go out of your way just to explore, then by means, go ahead and do it. For the first Sonic game, I guess there's no real reason to explore, not unless if you know where, if you want to get extra lives or rings, or just find a quicker way to actually get through the end of the stage. But especially when you want to play the first 6 stages to get those rings up so you get the Chaos Emeralds, then that's what you have to basically do it from there. So, I haven't enjoyed the game as much. I think Blake would have enjoyed it, especially seeing the live... I think if I did a live recording of this would have taken a lot, you know, probably a longer time to do than I did with the actual game itself. because I was also less prepared if I did it, say, a week or two ago, when like was around. If we didn't do Final Fantasy 7 or what was I doing? Ocarina of Time, as well as another game. So, to this, well, this has been the very start of the Sega Genesis game, and I'd say I am looking forward to the others, presented by Sega. And we'll have to see where it all ends. And this is what happens. If you don't get all the Chaos Emeralds, then he'll actually juggle the emeralds if you do pick him up. Because he'll be like, try again, you little fuck. But there he is. It's just, we got all the Chaos Emeralds just to see him absolutely fucking pissed off, which I guess is mint. Yeah, definitely give it a go. I don't know what will be the best game to play Sonic, whether it's on the original Sega Genesis. I definitely, if you've got one, go for it. Unless you've got like the Master Collection, Mega Collection, or whatever, then try it from there too. I guess. But yeah, we've got more to see for Sonic, and hopefully we'll bring out more along the meantime. But hopefully I've explained what I need to explain, it all makes sense, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.